So today we'll be getting into some stories regarding Seth Rollins' hidden messages, Jeff Hardy going viral, and how Becky Lynch once portrayed Sister Abigail. Let's start things off with Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins' character has definitely evolved some more ever since he returned to WWE a few months ago. He's no longer in this whole Messiah persona, but this new persona just seems to be more witty, more fun, and really interesting. Seth Rollins has been on the radar lately because he's been throwing a lot of subliminal jabs towards some of SmackDown's biggest names. Seth has been taking small shots towards Roman Reigns the last few weeks now on SmackDown. He first called himself the end-all be-all. He ignored Roman's presence on SmackDown, and then there was another jab at Roman from this week's SmackDown that sort of flew under the radar as well. When asked to pick a winner by WWE for the big main event title match between Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan, Seth actually picked Daniel Bryan to win that matchup. So again, just a little jab towards Roman as well. Seth's pick was basically saying that he didn't believe Roman Reigns could beat Daniel Bryan. Like we've been saying for weeks now, all these small hidden disrespectful jabs towards Roman has to come back to bite Seth Rollins eventually. Not only did he throw jabs at Roman Reigns this week, but he took a jab at another big SmackDown name that has been missing in action. This superstar being Edge. Edge was brought up by Paul Heyman on Talking Smack, but was cut off by Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins explained how Edge was nowhere to be found, and how he was probably in North Carolina, petting his dogs. So as you can see, this version of Seth Rollins is just a loose cannon and will take jabs at anyone. Seth Rollins and Cesaro will meet again this week on SmackDown, and it looks like this match could potentially be the end of Seth versus Cesaro. So if that's true, where does Seth Rollins go after that? Could Edge be his next rival? Could something be coming up in the future with Roman Reigns? We'll see what's next for Seth Rollins on SmackDown. Jeff Hardy went extremely viral this week on Twitter. It's always a bit scary when you see someone trending because you never know if it's for a good reason or a bad reason. But in this case for Jeff Hardy, he went viral for a great reason. SportsCenter started up the discussion when they asked their 40 million followers about who was their favorite wrestler growing up. Of course, you had your common answers like Undertaker, John Cena, Rey Mysterio, and so on. But a lot of fans also mentioned Jeff Hardy as their favorite wrestler growing up. That caused him to go trending, and everyone was just showing love to Jeff Hardy for decades of entertainment that he has provided over the years. Even though he hasn't been seen in months, Jeff Hardy is still very much an active member of the WWE Raw roster. They just don't have anything for him to do at this current moment. Jeff Hardy will be 44 this August, and everyone has expressed how they feel like Jeff is one of those massive talents that deserves an epic farewell. One last amazing storyline to send him off, but it's still unknown if they plan on doing anything like that for him in WWE. He was a big part of some storylines last year, with the whole story of him hitting Elias with his car and getting arrested, but hasn't really been up to much as of late. There's a lot of rumors out there that maybe Jeff Hardy possibly wrestles outside of WWE once this current deal is done. Matt Hardy has been very vocal about wrestling with his brother again before they both retire. So that's another thing to keep in the back of your head as well. Will Jeff Hardy look to head out after this deal to reunite with Matt Hardy whenever for one last run together? That's another possibility, no doubt about it, but we'll see if Jeff Hardy's going viral and trending on Twitter is enough to get him back involved into some storylines. Sister Abigail is this character in Bray Wyatt's universe that's sort of like a myth, but sort of real as well. Bray has mentioned her for nearly a decade now, but we have yet to physically see her in WWE. The only time where we actually got to see Abigail was during a Finn vs. Bray Wyatt match, where Bray was going to wrestle as Sister Abigail. Yeah, it's hard to know what they were thinking with that idea, but thankfully Bray never portrayed Sister Abigail at that event because a lot of superstars were sick that week, so it never happened. But that was as close as we ever got to seeing her. WWE was advertising it as Finn vs. Sister Abigail, but they never touched on it again. Well, according to a new recent interview with Fightful, recently released superstar Steve Cutler revealed that WWE experimented with the idea of Becky Lynch playing a Sister Abigail sort of role, and even being Bray Wyatt's girlfriend during early promo classes when they were in NXT. Steve had this to say on that Becky Lynch Sister Abigail promo that he remembers. It was something different from Becky at the time. This is when she was in NXT. It was different, and it was kind of cool to watch. The point of Dreams classes was to go in, throw something at the wall, you see if it sticks, and if it doesn't, you move on. He also hinted at the fact that there could be footage out there of that promo from Becky Lynch. So just some interesting news that really wasn't out there before. Of course, we never saw Becky Lynch portray a dark sort of character like that, so it does make you wonder what that looked like. Everyone knows to be a character in Bray Wyatt's universe, you have to be dark, mysterious, and have this whole aura going on with your character. We saw it from Eric Rowan, Brody Lee, Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton, and most recently with Alexa Bliss. Being a character in Bray Wyatt's world just really makes you stand out from the rest of the locker room. So it's very interesting to see what Becky Lynch could have been like in a Sister Abigail or love interest role for Bray Wyatt. As far as the latest news on the Sister Abigail character, everything has been pretty quiet. The last big update came last summer, where WWE put in the rights for Sister Abigail, but we never saw a physical appearance from the character after that. Dozens of names have been pitched over the last few years to portray Abigail. There was even reports a couple of years ago that Paige was one of the big names being considered, along with a few others, but nothing really came out of that. There was also that theory that's been around for a while that claims, what if Bray Wyatt isn't in control of The Fiend? What if Abigail is in control of The Fiend, and that entire story leads to her introduction? It's a decent theory, but honestly, doesn't look like it'll happen. It sort of feels like they're done with The Fiend as it is. They don't even know what to do with him. So the last thing you really want to do is to throw in this iconic Abigail character into The Fiend's directionless storyline. So then again, maybe it's a good thing that they never did introduce her. Just keep her as a myth unless you actually have a well thought out storyline for her. But if not, just leave her out of this. Enough of Bray Wyatt's universe has already been tampered with. Might as well just leave Abigail out of that mess. But what are your thoughts on the news that Becky Lynch actually portrayed and basically tried out for the role of Sister Abigail? Do you think Becky Lynch would have that same sort of amount of WWE success if she was one of Bray Wyatt's characters? And do you think WWE should still bring back Sister Abigail to programming? If so, who would be the perfect fit to portray her in WWE? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.